A promise of hope. In a small forgotten town, there lived a young man named Darin. His family, like everyone else in the village, struggled. Daily work was hard to come by, and hope was even harder to find. Darin often wondered if life could ever be different, if his quiet, unnoticed town could ever experience something more. One day, an old traveler passed through the village, and his eyes gleamed with wisdom. He shared a verse from the book of Isaiah. The least of you will become 1,000, the smallest a mighty nation. I am the Lord in its time. I will do this swiftly. Darin didn't fully understand, but something in the words stirred him. Could it be true? Could his village, so small and overlooked, really become something great? That very night, Darin couldn't sleep. He went out into the village and looked around at the barren fields, at the struggling homes. He felt the weight of his people's hardships, but he also felt the promise of something greater. The verse echoed in his mind. The next morning, Darin began planting seeds in the fields, though others laughed, saying it was a waste of time. But Darin believed. Over the seasons, something incredible began to happen. The crops grew, the town prospered, and soon, travelers arrived, bringing trade and opportunity. Years later, Darin stood at the center of a thriving town, where once there was nothing. The village had transformed, and the promise of Isaiah had come true. The least had indeed become a mighty nation, just as the Lord had said. Darin smiled, knowing that even the smallest, most overlooked beginnings could become something great in God's perfect timing. The promise of hope had changed everything.